All right, so welcome back to IGTV with Richard Horowitz. And Rich, thanks for taking time for being on the program with us today. We certainly appreciate that as well.
Thank you.
We've got a number of different things coming up today, almost like just a whole variety of different things. Plus, we've got a tape we're going to play as well today. Did you want to do that in the first or second segment today?
Yeah, let's start with the tape, and then I have a number of terrorism plots.
All
But
right, so we're going to go to just so everybody knows. We're going to do a little lead up here. The tape is part of a White House briefing that goes on for the media just about I guess every day. All right, so here's the beginning of the tape. We've got about a minute and 9 seconds. All right, everybody. So listen in, and here we go.
A conducive environment for concrete progress. We are committed to preventing Iran from acquiring a nuclear weapon. Iran needs to take steps to demonstrate that they, in a verifiable way, do not want to and will not pursue the acquiring of a nuclear weapon. So we're not drawing lines in the sand here about before the meeting takes place, but we are very clear-eyed about what Iran needs to do in order to fulfill its international obligations and be able to reassure the international community that it is not pursuing nuclear weapons. And that is the crux of the problem. Regardless of what the Iranians have said about what their intentions are, no one on the international stage has faith in those assurances. So we need concrete steps taken by the Iranians to assure that they will forsake their nuclear ambitions, weapons ambitions.
All right, and with Afghanistan.
All right, so we're back, and Richard, I've got your audio back in. People could hear the shuffling of papers there, but all right. So we've just listened to the White House briefing, and basically they're saying that no line in the sand, but they're trying to put up a very firm image with Iran. All right, Rich, go ahead. What do you think?
Well, the interesting thing about this clip is that the White House spokesman finally said something that everybody knows but nobody has said. I mean, he said that the United States is committed to Iran not achieving a nuclear capability, weapons capability. The president has said that. The Secretary of Defense has said that. But what he said was, no one on the international stage has faith in the Iranian assurances of what they're doing. That's the core of the problem. He used the word crux, the crux of the problem.
Right.
But that's the bottom line. No one believes what Iran is saying. Now, that's a difficult problem to overcome. I would say, comparing it with Saudi Arabia is a complicated situation. This is a difficult situation. Saudi Arabia is complicated because, on one hand, we know there's a link between Saudi Arabia and terrorism. At the same time, Saudi Arabia is a reliable ally, American ally on numerous situations. That's complicated. With Iran, it's really simple to understand. It's difficult to deal with. No one believes that Iran is not intending to go nuclear. At least those in the government don't believe it. And and the White House spokesman said it was on April 9th. And I think it's the first time I've heard any government official formally say that. So that's one interesting development. There are a number of plots that are in the news. Some here, some overseas, some related. One is in the news right now. It started yesterday, the 2009 New York City subway plot. 3 individuals were arrested in 2009 for attempting to detonate suicide vests on the New York City subway system. The 2 came from Afghanistan, 1 from Bosnia as children. They met in high school in Queens. And in 2008, they decided to go to Afghanistan and fight against American forces. They stopped off first in Pakistan and were recruited by Al-Qaeda, who told them they'd be more important here in the States. They came back here. They tried to build a number of bombs. The original plan was to build enough explosive devices that detonate at the Times Square, Grand Central, and the New York Stock Exchange. They were going to use TATP, which is the same explosive that the shoe bomber used. They weren't able to make enough explosive material, so they decided on the suicide bombings of the subway system. Two of the three pled guilty. The third is on trial, started yesterday. It's in the papers. It'll be in the papers for the coming days. That's going to be a very interesting trial. The 9/11 defendants are going to be arraigned on May 5th in a military court. Arraignment, as I'm sure you know, is when you go to court, you appear in court, the charges are read against you. That's when you enter your plea guilty or not guilty. Another interesting development, the United States decided to offer a $10 million award for the suspect that they believe is behind the Mumbai bombing in 2008. If you go to the Justice Department's rewards for justice webpage, they have cash awards for suspects. Some of them are 1 million, some of them are 2 million. This individual was put on the website during the last week. 166 people were killed during that attack, 6 of them American citizens. Now there's a $10 million American award for information leading to his arrest. The European Court of Human Rights decided that Abu Hamza and several other terrorists in the UK could be extradited to the United States. They tried to avoid being extradited by going through the UK system. They lost. They went to the European Court for Human Rights, decided that they can be extradited. Abu Hamza was indicted here in the States for trying to build a training base for jihadi operatives. One of the others in this group was arrested here for his role in the twin embassy bombings in Africa. And finally, the trial for the plot in Denmark for those who were planning a plot to bomb the Danish newspaper, which posted or printed the cartoons of Muhammad in 2005. That trial is starting this week as well. So there's a lot of activity and a lot of activity that has led to those being arrested and being tried.
Would agree with you wholeheartedly, Rich. And we're going to hear a little bit more from Richard Horowitz right after this message from our friends over at Cisco. So we'll be right